The Cold War era is one of the most fascinating and complex periods of history, as entire nations rose and fell via war, revolution, or total collapse. There's still so much mystique surrounding this point of time, be it from oppression, censorship, or traditionalism, that makes the occasional new piece of media about the Cold War so intriguing. 2018's road trip simulator Jalopy tries to capture that feel by having you travel all across Eastern Europe and the challenges that it entails. The plot itself is very minimal and even skippable. Set in June of 1990, just months away from the dissolution of the GDR and the fall of the Iron Curtain, you're awakened by your uncle who quickly sets up a journey through East Germany, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria before reaching your ancestral home of Turkey. You accomplish this via your uncle's Lakia 601 Deluxe, based on the real-life Trabant 601, a mass-produced East German economy car spread all across Warsaw Pact members from 1963 to 1990. However, the lack of funds and troubled development and the focus on a two-stroke engine resulted in a very cheap but unreliable and outdated vehicle, many seeing it as one of the worst cars ever produced and marketed. Still, it's built up a strong character and reputation, and Jalopy continues this by centering the entire game around it. There is some storytelling via uncle's letters revealing your family's past, but it's mostly reflective on the nature of society, with your uncle making the occasional topic of musing. Monuments to the past wars, border checkpoints, and the general lack of consumer goods and technical items reminds you of the stark communist economic policies that prevented any real diversification or progress. Objectives are relegated to driving town to town, sleeping in a motel, before passing the border and repeating the process. There's no enemies or hazards besides weather, potholes, and rugged tracks that impede your progress. The Lakia is all player controlled and pretty simple to understand if you've ever driven a manual car before. Most actions must be done by hand, like using a car jack to change wheels or popping the bonnet. It's complicated yet strangely satisfying as you work into a rhythm when performing maintenance. The scale of the distances travelled are greatly reduced, meaning no scenery outstays its welcome. Unfortunately, you'll likely miss most of it, either because of the weather or the swift change to nighttime that reduces your view. Jalopy's challenge comes in the form of the crushing wheel of entropy as your Lakia breaks down, runs out of gas, gets punctured tyres, broken windscreens, all while crawling at under 60 km an hour. For a cross-country trek, your car is a terrible choice, but like the real-life users, don't have an option as everything else is unavailable and upgrades for your car are extremely expensive. There are numerous markets that allow you to stock up on fuel, wheels, and repair kits, however the limited storage of your car and lack of funds will constrain your options. You can't really fail in the game. If you get stuck, you can reset the day and your uncle drops some cash so you can repair and refuel at a nearby gas station. If you really want to make some money, you have to pick up different box goods alongside the road and sell them at a store. Of course, this takes up valuable space and doesn't guarantee you'll make any money. The value of goods across each country varies, with some being practically worthless, while others, typically prohibited items, are worth a fortune. You can find this out by reading the newspapers or checking out the border crossing sign. Caught smuggling contraband costs you a high fine, but the rewards of a better engine, carburetor, fuel tank, or a paint job are just too hard to resist. You'll push your budget and your car to the limit, leading to some failed experiments, broken machinery, and having to trudge across a mountain during a storm to find some much needed fuel. It can be brutal, yet highly immersive and compelling stuff. Overall, Jalopy is a pretty comfy time. You listen to the radio, check your fuel gauge, and stop for repairs or supplies. The real issue for me, even though it's out of early access, there's no real ending or conclusion. Everything just kinda stops. Jalopy doesn't have enough content to really justify multiple playthroughs or a $15 price tag. Standing back, it's a borderline walking sim with few distractions or variety to mix it up, so I doubt there's any mass appeal for it. But either because of the setting or just the act of tinkering and improving a terrible car got me really into it. If you're someone that's at all attracted to the concept, then I can recommend looking out for Jalopy.